Hi there Pisces, thank you for joining me for your year 2012 horoscope. I'd like to wish you a very happy new year, and it can begin in some style for you because your New Year's Eve celebration was probably pretty boisterous. If you did decide to spend some time alone, it would definitely have been a choice because there's so much energy there, which is urging you to pitch in with other people. Your connections with other folk is very much to the fore as you enter this new year. But I want to take you back to the last week of November, because then there was a stunning solar eclipse in your sector of work, success, and your role in life. And I do feel the first 5 months of this new year can see a major change in that area. And what you're going to want to be doing is marrying more closely the things you love doing with the things you are doing every day of your life. So if you're in a job which gives you absolutely no satisfaction at all, you really will be driven to change that. Now, I don't say that lightly, especially if you're looking for work. And we all know if in that situation, sometimes we have to compromise to get our foot back on the ladder. But there is going to be this backdrop for you, this desire to network, to reach out, and it can be through the people you know that opportunities can develop. One can be linked to one special person. Jupiter, the planet of luck, traditionally in astrology, was turning backwards for the last 5 months of last year, and it only started to go forwards on Christmas Day. But on Christmas Eve, it forged a tremendous link with a new moon. The suggestion here is one close alliance can be very critical to what you're planning for this new year. It could be on a romantic level, it could be at a business level, it may be something more to do with something you want to do that is very inspirational for you and the other person. And you can be much more of a go-getter in this relationship. Mars has moved into a stronger position for you as far as relating. It's making you more assertive, and it's going to do so through to the first week of July. The only danger is you could almost see you being a bit hard-faced at times, and you could take a hammer to crack a nut on certain relationship issues. Don't lose sight of the more gentle side of your nature. And in fact, there's going to be quite a lot of times in January where, despite all this desire to reach out, connect, you actually find yourself stepping back, thinking a lot, perhaps weighing up what did happen last year, what your role was in certain situations. But this is all preparing you for a new start, which is going to develop in February for you. And the first phase of that occurs on the 4th, when Neptune, your co-ruler, returns to your sign. Now, Neptune is a planet that takes its time. It's been working its way for about 12 years through Aquarius. So as it moves back to you, it's going to have a long effect on you. But this is the sign that gives you that sense of understanding of the art side of life, that natural psychic talent you have, that sixth sense which can see you picking up on what people are thinking, but maybe you don't always trust what it's telling you. Well, with Neptune moving back to this area, it brings to an end a really difficult 12-year period when it may at times have seen you being very anxious and not being able to control some of those anxieties. And now it's going to see you feeling much more comfortable within yourself. So that's great news. Time to pop the champagne corks. But on the 7th, Saturn, the planet of restriction, which has been working its way through your sector of business, property, joint finances for the last 2 years, well, that's going to be going backwards for 5 months, and you may have to work really hard around those areas through to the early part of the summer. But with Jupiter now going forwards, your articulation is going to be bubbly, bright and inspirational. And as the sun arrives with you in February, that can be the trigger for you really starting to pick up momentum this year. When we get through to the solar eclipse, however, of May, I do feel it could surprise you that some of the changes you want to make are at a more emotional level. The softening that I suggest you add to Mars' more strident approach can be really good for you, particularly when Jupiter moves into this area too in June, because this will just help you to balance more astutely the need to be yourself but also not be taken for granted, which can be an issue with you. And if you can stay in touch with your emotional base, this can be a time of new starts emotionally, new starts in relationships. It could see you moving into a love nest with a partner. It may see a new addition to your family. When on the 4th of July, Mars finally moves, it's going to give you a chance to really boost your income, especially if you have been up against it a little bit in the spring. But by the time the October comes, Saturn's going to be moving into a new home, and it's one that's to do with expansion of your life. If you have desires to travel, live overseas, learn a new language, or you want to step up your education through a distance learning course or go in full time, Saturn's going to help you to do that in the following 2.5 years. But you're going to have to work jolly hard in order to achieve those aims. Fortunately, a stunning solar eclipse in November is brilliant for expanding your life. And I think a lot of those aims that you were thinking about, as I told you at the beginning of this story, at the passing of the year from the old year to the new year, you'll be able to see that you can realise those hopes. It is going to take some application, it is going to take some flexibility, but a fantastic year is in prospect if you really believe it's possible. Thank you for joining me, good luck, and goodbye for now.